Hey guys, what's up? So today I'm bringing you a brand new video in my best albums of each year series. And today we're going back to early 2000s and talking about the year 2003. So the year 2003, one of my favorite years for music. You had my all-time favorite band, Godsmack, released their third album, Faceless, that year. Jay-Z released the Black Album and then retired from hip-hop. But then, of course, he came back 3 years later with The Kingdom and Unretired. Linkin Park dropped their second album, Meteora. And then another mention that I'll mention here before we get started with the video is Cold, Year of the Spider. I think that album is extremely underrated. I think Cold is an extremely underrated nu metal band and is one that deserves more love. So, you guys know how this works. Down in the comments below. Let me know some of your favorite albums from 2003. Let me know if you guys have any of my picks on my list. And let me know if you're a fan of any of these artists that are mentioned. So without further ado, let's get started. At number 1, this first one should really come at no surprise because I am a massive fan of this band. And I've been a massive fan of them since I was 12 years old. But at number 1, we have Godsmack with their third album, Faceless. Perfect album, not a single skip. I love every song on that album. Number 2, we have Machine Head with Through the Ashes of Empires. Really solid album from 2003. One of Machine Head's better albums, in my opinion. Number 3 is Fall Out Boy with Take This to Your Grave. I still listen to old Fall Out Boy to this day, especially Take This to Your Grave. It's a great album. It holds up all these years later. And I'm really glad that Fall Out Boy went back to their old sound on their recent album. But yeah, Take This to Your Grave. Not a single skip. All the songs are great. And it's a really good album to start a career. I hope we get a new Fall Out Boy album soon, though, because it's been a few years. I think Fall Out Boy drops... Well, it's kind of weird how often they drop albums, but we might get a new one soon. I hope so. What's next? Number 4, we have Jay-Z with the Black Album. Definitely one of his best, in my opinion. And I think The Kingdom, the album that came out after this, has a couple of decent songs on it, but it's nowhere near one of his best. I think the Black Album was Jay-Z's last good album. If we're talking about a front-to-back listen, there are specific songs on later albums that I do listen to, but when it comes to Jay-Z's later projects, I only like certain songs. But when it comes to Jay-Z's earlier albums from the 90s and 2000s, those albums, I would argue, are more complete and have more bangers on them. Number 5, we have Linkin Park with Meteora. You really can't talk about 2003 without mentioning Meteora at least once. This is one of Linkin Park's best albums, hands down. For me, the three best Linkin Park albums will always be their first three, at least for me: Hybrid Theory, Meteora, and Minutes to Midnight. And those three albums go back and forth for me all the time. Now, would I say Meteora is a better album, at least lyrically? The writing has stepped up, the riffs have stepped up, the drumming and everything, like instrumentation all around, and the performances on the songs as well have all stepped up. Absolutely, I would say 100% that Meteora's performances are better throughout the album. But Hybrid Theory and Meteora, like, that's a toss-up for number one. Honestly, for me, it goes back and forth. But yeah, Meteora, classic album, not a single skip. And you just can't go wrong with it. It's a great record. All right, number 6, I have Deftones with their self-titled album, Deftones. Now, the only song I really come back to off this album is Pins and Needles. I think that's what it's called. Outside of that, I really have no interest to return to the album. It's not a bad album by any means, but it's not one of Deftones' bests. But if we're talking about the year 2003 by itself, it's definitely one of the better releases. But over time and over the years, I always find myself going back to White Pony or Adrenaline. Adrenaline's my favorite Deftones album. Or even listen to Ohms or Kono Yukon. But yeah, solid album. It's not bad. All right, number 7, 50 Cent with Get Rich or Die Trying. Another album that you can argue you can't mention, or you can't go without mentioning when it comes to the year 2003. Of course, 50 Cent burst onto the scene with this album. It's his biggest album for a reason. Of course, you got not Candy Shop, that was on his second album. Jesus. Why am I blanking on it? Holy shit, I feel really stupid. In the Club. God, I am gonna get... I apologize. I apologize to the whole genre of hip-hop for that one. In the Club. That's his biggest song. I don't know how I didn't think of that. Oh, yeah, this video is gonna get memed to hell. Alright. I feel like I want to scrap this video now. Hold on. Yeah, In the Club, links to like, God, you guys are not gonna let me live that down. I already know it. Alright, you know what, let's move on. I don't want this video to be super long. Oh, Jesus, okay. That's embarrassing. That's one for the history books. Oh, boy, okay. Moving on. Number 8, I have Stained with 14 Shades of Grey. Number 9, Snow Patrol with Final Straw. Number 10, Evanescence with Fallen. Number 11, Limp Bizkit with Results May Vary. I know this might be a controversial pick. Personally, I don't think this album is as bad as everyone says it is. I think there's some good songs on it. I think it's an extremely overhated album. Number 12, Nothing Face with Skeletons. This is my favorite Nothing Face album. Number 13, Puddle of Mud with Life on Display. Number 14, Chimera with Impossibility of Reason. Number 15, Cold with Year of the Spider. Number 16, Korn with Take a Look in the Mirror. This album, I feel like, gets overlooked. I would argue it's even overhated a little bit. I think it's a good album. There's some good songs on it. Number 17, Spineshank, Self-Destructive Pattern. I love this album. I love Spineshank. I think they are criminally underrated. And Self-Destructive Pattern should get more love and attention because it's hands down one of the best albums of 2003. Love the album. Not a single bad song on it. Alright, we got 2 more. Number 18, Sevendust with Seasons. This has my all-time favorite Sevendust song, Honesty. So, there you go. I've said all I need to say. And at number 19, we have Motograter with Motograter. I was actually listening to this album earlier today. And I think it's a criminally underrated new metal and groove metal album from 2003. I think it's a criminally underrated album when it comes to new metal in general. I know there's rumors of Ivan Moody rejoining Motograter. Personally, I would really like to see that happen. I love Five Finger Death Punch, but I feel like Five Finger Death Punch has ran its course. 20 years of the same song and dance, it can get tiring after a while. But going back and listening to Motograter, that first album definitely still slaps, and it holds up all these years later. Okay, alright. I'll see you guys in the next video. Good Lord. Alright. Bye.